Okay, so today what we're looking at is assignment number 2, and that's right here in the tech literacy section of assignment number 2, page 15. Before we open that, we're going to go ahead and open the textbook. Now remember, what you need to do is right click. When I say right click, I mean look at your mouse, observe that there are 2 buttons on your mouse, a right button and a left button. Right click is, sorry about that, to press the right. Now, if you're using your Chromebook, you'll hold the Alt key as you click the trackpad, okay? And that gives you the right click function. So I'm going to right click on this, and I'm going to open link in new tab. I'm going to move that over just a little bit, okay? And that's going to go ahead and open the book here. And in just a moment, I will go in and I'm going to go to page 17. I realize that the book, that it says page 15 here. Yeah, my computer's being really slow. That it says page 15 here. However, when you do this, 17 has the example. Okay, so this is taking a little while to do. Good, there we went. So you come down here and you can see it. And so coming over here, page 17 is taking us to the example. It will eventually load. Okay, I'll just take my word for it. I have clicked on this tab here so I can go back to showing how to do this in Canvas. We're just sort of pausing for the computer. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open Project 2, page 15. And we're now waiting again. Good. Okay. So the next thing you're going to do is go ahead and click on this right here, Project 2, Keyboarding Skills, and then that'll pop you out to a fresh page here. Now, somebody asked about the title up here. I've already given you a title for your assignment, so don't change that. This one just is because of that that I'm doing the video assignment here. Okay, so what we're going to be doing here is, and it says an email, the reality is technically we're doing a memo, and I'm going to go into that in just a minute, but scroll up. And so I'm going to start over here. And we're just going to type in TO colon. That is a shifted character next to the letter L. Now I'm going to press the tab key twice. The tab key is on the far left side of the keyboard, directly under the number row, tab. Okay, and we'll go ahead and type in instructor email. At your school. Edu. Oops. I was off by one. Edu. Okay. Now I'm going to hit enter. Now I'm going to go ahead and type in CC colon enter BCC colon and subject. Then I'll explain what I was doing there in just a moment. Subject colon tab. So I pressed the tab key once. Welcome to Keyboarding 101. Okay. Now to go into this, what this is when you pressed tab, it came out a little ways, and then it came out the next distance. These are now nicely lined up. Don't try lining stuff up by hitting the space bar a million times. It is a lot of work, and it ends up looking wrong when you're doing stuff. So just use the tab keys or the other alignment keys, which we'll be showing throughout the class. Now, what does this mean? CC, BCC. When you go ahead to send an email, I'm just going to click on Compose here. Okay. What you see over here is CC and BCC. What CC means is carbon copy. These are old terms, but it basically means copies to these people. Now, you almost never use that because you just add more to the to field. BCC, on the other hand, is mildly useful. What BCC is useful for is called blind carbon copy. So if you want to include somebody in the email exchange, but you don't want other people that are part of it, one email bouncing around, people hitting reply, and people doing stuff like that referred to as the email exchange. You don't want other people to know that you've included somebody. BCC is the place. Now, I'll give an example where I might use that. If I'm sending a letter to an email to all of my students and their parents, might have all of the students named in the to field, but maybe I feel it's kind of inappropriate to provide the students with the parents' email addresses. So all of those email addresses might be in BCC. So they get the message, but people only see the email addresses up here in the to field. Okay. So that's basically what that was. Let's see, anything that shouldn't have been here? Nope, nothing that shouldn't have been here. Good. Okay. Coming back over to the assignment, got to find it. Okay, so I'm going to just get enter, enter. Okay, now, dear incoming students, and it's referred to as a salutation, and it always followed by a comma, enter, enter. Now I'm going to save you a little bit of typing here, okay? We're going to come over here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to select from here to the W, and you see I'm sort of halfway on the W, halfway off. Well, that's where I want to be. Select all of that. Don't go any further. Control C. Come back over here. Control V. Okay. So there we've got all the text done. Now the next thing we're going to do is, so we've used tab to line these up. The next thing we're doing today is auto numbering. Now on mine, you can see it's under this more box. Yours might just be over here somewhere. What you need to look for is the numbered list tool. It's this 1, 2, 3 and the line. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on that. You notice it indented and put in a 1. Okay, don't just type the 1, use the numbering tool. It is conspicuously different and it's easier. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and type a few of these in really quick. Okay, and I do want you typing these in. Don't just try copying out of the textbook. I'll tell you what happens if you copy out of the textbook. The formatting is going to be a mess, and I can immediately see that you copied it in. Okay, and because all of this was copy, I mean, that just means that the entire assignment was copied. Okay, so now I've got this in, and all I'm going to do is hit enter. And that's because, of course, I'm doing other stuff while I'm doing it. And I hit enter, and that just automatically popped in that 2 for me. Okay, so center your body. Oops. I'm doing really bad. Y-O-U-R. The H key. Now, it's getting late here with elbows at your side. Okay, enter. And you'll notice that it just popped in that 3. I'll comment on, yeah, the center there. Okay, here's the thing. My system is set up because I also do a lot of stuff where I write in UK English. There being a difference between UK English, United Kingdom, and US English. One of those is spellings. Okay, so every once in a while you'll see misspellings, and then I'll fix it, and it will go to this. So this would be a UK spelling, not a US spelling. Okay. A couple of things I want to say about the rest of these once we get all of these in. So we're going to go ahead and get the rest of these in. Okay, there's 2 things I want to tell you about this. The first one is where this stuff comes from. This is real advice, okay? Not just something made up for a typing exercise. Where this comes from. Keyboards, as we have them, have been around for quite a while. They've been around since 1874. Yeah, the 1800s. So we've had a lot of time to learn about the best way to type. And now the way we determine this best way to type that we use is, in all seriousness, there was a competition held and back in the 1800s. And the competition was what typing method, because there are a lot of people teaching people to type and using different methods. What typing method was the best? And so what they did is these typing teachers came in and they taught large groups of students, and then they tested the students to see which ones learned the best way to type. And so the method and the prize was $5,000, which, don't forget, $5,000 in the 1800s, that's going to buy a pretty nice house. So in modern numbers, that would be like at least $250,000 to $300,000. Yeah, people are going to work on that prize. And the method that we use, the method you're being taught by your keyboarding teacher, was not just a slight winner. It was an overwhelming winner. That all the other methods were obviously inferior. So this is why we stress this method so much. Now, here's the real problem that we have. And when I say we, I don't just mean you, I mean me too. We started using keyboards before we learned to use them. And what I mean by that is we started using that keyboard, punching out on the keys, getting stuff written without actually knowing how to do it right. And we learned a lot of wrong things. And the hardest thing is not to learn something new, it is to unlearn something wrong. And quite simply, we've been doing it wrong. When I say we, I mean the way, because like I see kids holding the keyboard in their lap. And why? Because that's how they learn to hold it in their lap while they play their computer game, filling in the chat box. And they say, oh no, this is faster for me. No, it's not. It is not. Okay, that's that simple. So when we get after you about using these techniques that are listed here, techniques, ways of doing things, that it isn't us trying to be mean. The reality is, no matter how much you think you're faster doing it the way you're doing it, you will never get fast that way. There is a right way to do it, and that right way was determined, and that's what the class you take in keyboarding, that's what this advice here has to do with. Okay, so much for the sermon. Let's go ahead and finish the assignment. Okay, so moving along, and it isn't really that much. It's a case of letting you know why we tell you to do things we do. Okay, enter. Now, when I hit enter, it said 11, and I don't want an 11 there. So I'm just going to hit enter once more, and it breaks me out of that auto numbering. Okay, so if I'm in the auto numbering, I want to break out, I just hit enter. Okay, now you saw I hit enter once more. I look forward to working with you throughout this course, and I have been leaving this here so so you'll be able to copy these in. I look forward to working with you throughout this course. Out course. Enter. Sincerely, comma, Mr. Stevens. Okay, now we're almost done. So make sure you get all of these typed in. Just key them in. There's nothing but practice. Okay. If you try to copy it out of the textbook, it's really obvious. Okay. Just so you're aware, key them in because I want you to key these in and really pay attention to what these steps are, what the lessons are here. The other thing is I want you to work with the auto numbering to see how that works for you. You can see that it automatically indented a tiny bit and everything is nicely lined up here. Okay. Now we're going to do one more thing. Control A, remember that's Control All. And what we're going to do is remember, so right up here, font family, Times New Roman. And this box right here, I'm going to click in it, 12-point font, okay? Because everything we turn in for school, unless otherwise told, is in Times New Roman 12-point font. That's just an MLA standard in Modern Language Arts, okay? Now, the last thing we're going to do here is we're going to make sure that all this text is black. Because remember, we copied a bunch of the stuff in from Canvas. And when we copy stuff in from Canvas, sometimes that happens. So you notice text color has nothing under it. That's because there's more than one text color selected. Just go ahead and select black. You may or may not have seen a little bit of a shift right there when you did it. Okay. And so that was it. At this point, you'll go back to Canvas. And in your case right here, you'll have a button that says submit. Now, if you try to submit and you get an error, that's not a problem. What's happened is just timed out on the screen. Just come up here and click on refresh and then click on submit a second time and it'll work fine. Okay, that was it for assignment 2.